This is a scam email. In this short video, we're going to go through what makes me think it's a scam email. Make sure to comment below with your thoughts. Let me know if going through it like this is helpful. So I got this email recently. I actually got two of these. There was this one first. And if you look at the title here, it says you've been invited to Jira Service Management. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Jira, you can search that in Google. And the first thing you'll get here is results for Jira. It's project tracking software, which is accurate. That's actually what it is. Put out by this company called Atlassian. They've been around for a long time. They're a leader in the field. Jira is pretty standard actually for project management. A lot of big companies use it. So getting these types of emails is not necessarily unusual. Like this is actually what they look like. And if you look at the email address here, you'll notice that there's this long string here, but the part after the @ sign, it says am.atlassian.com, and it's this specifically this last part that you need to be concerned with, which is the atlassian.com, which means it actually does come from that domain. So this is a legitimate email from Atlassian, which is confusing when you get this because you're thinking like, what? Like, why am I getting a Jira notification to this email address? This is my personal email address. So this other email arrived at the same time. So if you look at this email here, you get like the Jira tag, and then there's this Linda Bryan. Okay, I don't know a Linda Bryan. Mentioned you on, looks like a random string of letters. I guess that's like a ticket number they made up. And then that, again, it's the Jira there's some subdomain there that looks randomly generated, and then it's at Atlassian.net, which is the top level domain. Again, that's a domain that Atlassian controls. It says Linda Bryan mentioned you on an issue. And if you're unfamiliar with Jira, this is actually what comment notifications look like when people mention you, when they tag you in comments or in descriptions on tickets. And you get there's a whole bit of text here, writes, grab the opportunity, Bitcoin registration closing. The copy here, it's talking about like Bitcoin things, withdraw your Bitcoin. It's a bunch of marketing copy. And I mean, if you read through it, like there's no obvious English grammar or spelling mistakes or stuff like that. But you have to realize that nowadays with modern like AI text generation, generating sort of generic like marketing text like this, it's really not that hard. It's actually pretty trivial to generate correct sounding like generic marketing text like this. So it doesn't tell you that it's a scam initially, but you know, it's sort of a toss-up. There's a bit of time pressure here, right? Seize the exclusive chance now, like click the link below, don't wait, act today, right? Take advantage. So there's a little bit of hard selling going on here. And then there's these tags here, which these are all people in Jira that the scammer has added to this Jira like project. And that's what's generating these actual notification emails that gets them to be sent from actual Atlassian controlled email addresses. So that's the thing that's a little tricky about this particular flavor of scam, is that they're abusing Jira, the project management software, to get it to actually use their email addresses, to get it to use Atlassian's email addresses to send these actual Atlassian emails, but for a scam purpose. So it's a little tricky flavor of scam there. And part of what that does is that this email, this is all like actual Atlassian Jira stuff, right? Like these are all actual links. That's the Jira mobile app on Android. That's the link for iOS. These are like notification, feedback, privacy. These are all actual Jira links. And so one thing you can do if you're concerned about links, about clicking on links, is if you're on desktop, hover over the link, and then Google Chrome, the browser, it will show you the actual link that clicking on it is going to navigate to. It will show you the URL. And so here, that is an Atlassian.net URL, which is valid. Like that's a real URL from Atlassian, the company, for how they manage Jira, how like Jira is implemented essentially. So if you also look at the one that's in the comment that the scammers put in, again, if you do that same thing and you look at the URL there, it says https docs.google.com. That's an actual Google controlled URL. So that tells you that that actual URL is not something directly controlled by the scammer. That's a Google Docs Specifically, it's a form. It's a Google form. So because it's controlled by Google, that means that I'm fine clicking on this because this URL is not something the scammers directly control. This is a Google form. I'm going to copy this actually over here. See, right, we're going to docs.google.com/forms, and then that's the actual form we're going to. So if we load this, look what we get. We get a notification from Google that says, you can't do it because this form is in violation of our terms of service, right? So Google has figured out that scammers were abusing this Google form to try to scam people, probably out of money, based on that they're talking about Bitcoin here. And so Google has said like, oh no, this is a scam, you can't do it, right? We're gonna stop, we're gonna prevent people from loading the scammers abusing this particular form. So Google is trying to protect you here. It would be better if Google or Jira or Atlassian in that case figured out a way to do that before this happens, before you actually get the email, but one problem at a time. That's how I figured out that this is a scam. This is an attack vector. Some scammers are attacking me, trying to get money from me, and that's how I figured it out. Make sure to share this with someone who might not recognize this as a particular flavor of scam, because it's a little tricky how they do it, because you can't use the normal, this email is like garbage. Like, no, it's a real Atlassian email. So make sure to share it with someone who might not catch that immediately, because that's a little tricky. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.